Hello, class. In this video, I'd like to test the hypothesis regarding matched pair data. So you can see we have two sets of data here, data for xi and data for yi. And I guess the first question we're asked to determine the difference for each pair. So let me import this data into StatCrunch. If I click the table button, and if you scroll down, you'll see it says your table has been copied, so I press OK. And then I'm going to go to StatCrunch and press Control V. And it's nice, it gives me a preview of what my data is going to look like, but there's a problem here. You see the word observation? I actually don't want that to appear in row 1. I want that to appear in the var1 heading. So I'm going to close this out and actually just move my box to variable 1 or var1. And now when I press Control V and then OK, you can see that my heading is observation xi, yi. So back to the my StatLab problem, it's asking for the difference. Now I've already filled this in, but to quickly get this difference in StatCrunch, if I were to press data, scroll down to compute, we'll do an expression, we'll build an expression. I'd like to say xi minus yi, or the difference of xi and yi. I press OK. And there's my difference, right? So it subtracts for me. Of course, I could just use a calculator and subtract 43.6 minus 47.2 and just put it in by hand, but this is a quick way. Next, we're asked to find, it looks like, the mean of the differences. So I can add up all of these numbers and divide by 8, or we can use StatCrunch once again. If I press Stat, Summary Stats, Columns, I'll use the difference column, right? So I can quickly find the mean, and I think we're also asked to find the standard deviation. So I'll hold Control and press the standard deviation button. I press Compute, and it looks like there's my mean and my standard deviation. So my mean is negative 2.788. We'll round up, and I enter that. And my standard deviation was 1.268. And I enter 1.268. All right, so we found the mean and the standard deviation of our differences. And now we're asked, can we test that the mean difference is less than 0 at a significance level of 0.05? So let's go back to StatCrunch, and we'll press Stat. And I'm looking for t-stats, and our data is paired. And sample 1 will be xi, sample 2 will be yi, and we're going to hypothesis test, and we want to see that the mean difference is less than 0. I think that's all we need. Let's just go back and take a peek. Right? We want to test that the difference of our mean, difference was less than 0. And I'm going to press Compute. And here is our data. Okay. Looks like we have a p-value of 0.0002. So when we are asked what's the correct null and alternative hypothesis, right? So we assume that the null, the mean difference equals 0, and we're asked to test if it's less than 0. So letter A is our correct choice. And our p-value came out to 0, right? 0.00002 when rounded is 0. So we're able to say, okay, since our p-value is less than 0, we can reject the null hypothesis, and we can say there's sufficient evidence to suggest that the mean difference is less than 0 at the 0.05 level of significance. Now to find the 95% confidence interval, we can quickly go back, and now under Options, we'll edit, and then instead of hypothesis test, let's hit the confidence interval button, and we were doing that at the 95% level. I press Compute, and now I have my lower and my upper limits, right? Negative 3.847 to negative 1.728. And I just want to double check I typed that correctly. Negative 3.85 negative 1.73. Okay, I press enter or check answer, and it says excellent. So we've done it. Have a great day.